Hello, guys. Good day wherever you are. As we promised, I think this could have been much earlier, but for some one or two reasons, we are now granting Daniel this interview, and it's all about Africa, simplifying the revolution. And hey, you are of course on the Ebiconics TV, and today we are doing it for Mother Africa. We are staying down in Africa, and we are doing blockchain in Africa. I have with me today Daniel Kimodo. And then our beautiful lady, Rosalind Wanjiru, all the way from Nairobi, Kenya. And we are going to talk EOS. EOS happens to be actually a revolutionized blockchain that is having some solutions I don't understand, you don't understand, but Daniel and Rosalind do understand, and they are going to educate all of us about this amazing technology. And then to not waste much time, I think that I've already told our viewers about Daniel and Rosalind, but I think it's going to be much more ideal to allow them to tell us something about them and how they even got involved with this crypto evolution. So Daniel, Rosalind, if you can hear me, can you tell us something about yourself, please?
All right, I think ladies first.
Yes, ladies first, Rosalind. All right, I'm here.
So, all right, hello there. And how are you? With love from Kenya, my name is Rosalind. I am an economist primarily and also an editor, but recently I've come into the blockchain space to learn about the opportunities. What is blockchain? What is it all about? What can it do beyond Bitcoin? What can we learn from it? How can we get involved? And just to find out the opportunities that are there. So one of the things that has impressed me and that has stayed with me about blockchain is the opportunities in the EOS blockchain. So tune into this interview for a lot more that we'll be talking about. So
wow,
yeah,
that was
it's a delight and
so sharp, you know.
Thank you.
Yes, Daniel, how about you tell us about yourself?
I guess it's my turn now. My name is Daniel Kimoto. I'm the community lead here at Nairobi. We have a community here that's really growing and it's really strong. It's called EOS Nairobi. The team is very vibrant here. We have more than 100 guys who work in the community. That's on a day-to-day basis, running different things. We build up different teams on the community. So there's guys focusing on art, if you can believe that actually. Blockchain-inspired art. I think Rosalind is wearing a very beautiful pendant here that was done by some of the guys in our art team. So these guys were inspired by blockchain technology.
Even we've not started with this interview, but I happen to be so much in love with your team to find actually a lady as part of your blockchain core team in Africa is so hard. Ladies in Africa are actually not paying so much attention, and we have, of course, for example, in our company, we have lots of ladies involved because we believe they have pioneering ideas that drive technologies and stuff like that when they open up to it. And to find you to do the same thing and frontering with actually a lady is so amazing. And I just have to urge you to that. And without wasting so much time, I think this has to do with all of us over here understanding EOS, you telling us what EOS is actually about and some of the innovations and some things that are happening in Africa. But let's say I'm a nobody that just got started, just got started with Bitcoin. And I do a whole lot of Bitcoin related stuff. And now EOS is also out with so much noise and a whole lot of people are talking about it. I go read the technical stuff. It makes no sense to me. And I just met you as a friend on the street. You are saying you are an ambassador for EOS. So tell me, what is EOS? What is this innovation? What is it doing? Is it another Bitcoin? Is this another whatever it is? Just tell me about it.
Okay, so the way I explain it simply so that people understand what EOS is achieving is that EOS is the operating system for the blockchain. So as you know, blockchain technology is what has been used to make cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum. And it's also the technology that is being leveraged by the guys at Block One to make EOS protocol. A protocol simply is just a set of rules that have been written to guide how a piece of software operates. And so the EOS protocol is supposed to serve as the operating system of the blockchain. Now, as you know, the blockchain space right now has a lot of projects that are out there, a lot of protocols that are running, and it's seeming like it's the Wild West. You know, when you get hacked, when there's an ICO that runs and the token generation event is not as forthcoming and the people were not as honest as they had promised on the white paper, there's no one you can call actually. So you just end up losing out on all your investments, all the investments you have made. But now the beauty with EOS is that it has some amazing features, like an operating system. There's things like accounts built into it. There's governance built it. So it's quite something. EOS what we need so that the blockchain technology can scale out to people all around Africa, especially, and that's our goal here. To ensure that guys benefit from blockchain technology right from here.
Wow, if I got you right, a blockchain that is actually having a system doing checks on it, isn't it something like a centralized blockchain? Because you know a blockchain should be decentralized, but based on what you're saying, it looks like the entire EOS ecosystem is kind of, sorry to say, centralized. Is that right, or you know?
Okay. So I think I'll hand this over to Rosalie, but I'll probably just touch on a small bit. Now, what EOS does, it runs on something we call a delegated proof of stake algorithm. And what that means is that token holders from all around the world get to select who is going to create blocks for them, who's going to record the transactions that are made. As you know, from Bitcoin, there's the proof of work algorithm where there are miners, and these miners get to record transactions that take place on the protocol, on the network rather. And once they do that and they create the blocks, they get block rewards. Now, in EOS, there's a different algorithm. It's called the delegated that requires only 21 people or 21 participants to maintain the network, maintain the entire network. So these 21 people, 21, they can be communities, organizations, maintaining the network, are selected by people who hold EOS tokens. And that's what makes it decentralized, because you can change the block producer. They're called block producers, these 21 entities, and you can change them based on how you feel their performance is affecting or benefiting your life.
Wow. So wait, Rosalind, your turn now. You got to tell us how you got involved with EOS. From, I don't know, were you already into Bitcoin before you got involved with EOS, or and how did you like became all of a sudden an EOS ambassador?
All right, so I've not particularly been involved with Bitcoin, but I am a researcher by nature. So I really tend to find out what is really going on here, because I'm not the kind of person who buy into the hype before I really see what is in the picture. So in finding out more about EOS, and I'll just build further on what Daniel has said, with the decentralized nature of blockchain, yes, there's a bit of trustless networks, but if we're really to advance the advantages of blockchain technology and exploit it to different industries and different use cases for business, we will need mechanisms of trust. We will need measures of arbitration, because you can't tell me that I will invest my tokens or invest my money or invest my time or invest my skill and it will disappear in the name of this being purely decentralized. That's where EOS advantage in terms of arbitration comes in very important, because you know that you can invest in this network, you know that you can grow, you know that you can exploit the advantages of blockchain for your business or for your company or for your organization. And as we are seeing with so many conversations around the world, we can solve societal problems using this technology. Because at the end of the day, it needs to be relevant to us. It needs to be relevant to our lives, right?
Yes, of course. Wait,
yes.
this is just so. Wait, talking about a trustless mechanism, something that is free of checks, something that is actually with no sort of checks on it. I think blockchain provides one of the most amazing transparency we could ever find. And then if I can refer myself back to what Daniel mentioned about ICOs, I think most of the ICOs today we see are not actually running on the Bitcoin blockchain, but rather Ethereum blockchain. Now, if EOS is trying to be much more governed and also very secured in terms of checks and things that has to do with avoiding corruption within the blockchain system, do you want to tell us that based on some of these qualifications, does it in any way make yours much more better than Ethereum or something?
Actually, a lot of people out there call EOS the Ethereum killer, but I don't like looking at things from that perspective. I think that EOS is creating its own opportunity. And the people who are able to spot this opportunity will be able to jump on this ship. So whether Ethereum is there or not, being an Ethereum killer, however you want to look at it, my belief is that EOS is creating a new opportunity and a new market. So for people who want to create dApps that will actually allow citizens to participate on the blockchain, beautiful interfaces that people can work with, that a user doesn't even know they are operating of technology that rides on the blockchain. And that's what EOS is offering. And I think that's a new market in the whole blockchain space. So when it comes to token generation events, yes, EOS is going to support that. We're going to support ICOs. And I think a lot of projects are going to jump in because of the amazing features that it offers. The beauty with coming in, we have a saying here that the first person through the door gets shot. And the next person who comes in knows that the first person got shot and can actually protect themselves. So we are sort of like the next guy through the door. So we saw the mistakes that were made by the previous guys, and now I think we're
proving on it.
Yeah, I think
that's
yeah. So,
that is so cool.
Yeah, let's so you'll allow us to get some light on. I think night has fallen.
Okay. So that I can see you guys better, you know. And as you are trying to work on your lights and stuff like that, talking about innovations, as you mentioned. Now, how is innovations in Africa, especially in Kenya, that has to do with the blockchain technology itself? How are people embracing? And how are they taking it? Are they taking it like this is a big deal, or they are like some kind of one of those things that are being introduced to them? How is blockchain in Kenya? How are the people responding to it?
Okay, I'll let the researcher here tell us. She's the one interacting with people.
Yeah, the researcher herself would have to tell us that one.
All right. So there are different people in this blockchain space in Kenya. We have the early birds, definitely, who got into Bitcoin way before it was even a thing in the cryptocurrency space in Kenya, right? Then you have others who tagged along and got their fingers burnt. By this, I mean that they didn't know probably how to protect their wallet. So they got hacked, they lost a lot of money, and probably they didn't understand the fluctuations in the market. So, of course, they did end up losing, and they really pushed away anything to do with currency, anything to do with blockchain. But then there are also different groups of techies, university students, and researchers out there, and just people who are really interested in the conversations around tech. So these are the ones who are meeting up right now, starting conversation, asking questions. As a young person, how can I profit from this? And it's really more with the young people. We don't really cut out the stats on the old people. We know that they will come in with time, but for right now, it's the young people, the ones in campus, the ones away from campus or fresh out of campus who are really in the blockchain space right now.
Wait. Does this make your entire market, your niche or your target, something that has to do with only the youth?
Not necessarily with the youth, but if you do consider the population of young people alone, we are quite a majority in the country.
Wow.
And Kenya's median age is 19 years old. So if you took everyone in Kenya and you put them on a straight line, and you found the guy in the middle, the guy would be 19. So,
wow.
I think that's why there's a lot of young people, because there's very many young people. So it's more of a statistical issue than it is about interest.
And then also, are they joining the EOS innovation as just to learn, or they are joining with the investor perspective. You know, a lot of people out there are so ignorant about the fact that maybe I just saw a coin, so let me just buy in because of the benefit or the price benefit of this project or this coin. Some people are basically not even following the project as you're doing. They're only interested in buying some tokens. And is it what is happening? Are people joining just because for the investor perspective, or they are much more passionate about the technology itself?
So, I guess guys are passionate. So most of the people we have in our community have interacted with the investment side of things. So they have been in the whole ICO game. They have been in the market fluctuations. They have made money. Some have lost money. But at the end of the day, you know, something lasting is something that you build. And that's what our community here in Nairobi is all about. So we discovered that we can continue talking about markets and prices going up and down, but they'll always do that. Markets always go up and down. But at the end of the day, when you build something of value, that's how you get to build a long-term value for yourself and for very many other people. So you only get good benefits to yourself if you are able to provide value to as many people as possible. And that's the goal we want here. Because when you do investments on your own and you make a little gains, some make a lot of gains, but more value comes in building something that actually helps a lot of people.
How huge is your community over there? Like, can you give us a range, maybe a numbers of thousands of individuals you personally have recruited into the EOS ecosystem, or maybe you can just give us an overview.
So I pray that we get to the thousands one day. However, our community is growing very, very quickly. As I was telling you earlier, we have broken it down into teams. So we have people who are all about art inspired by blockchain technology. We have people who are inspired by the code, writing code that lives on EOS. We have another group of people that is involved in research. When you come to the community, regardless of what your interests and passions are, you'll always find space. And I think that's what is helping our community grow really fast. Hopefully one day we'll get to the thousands, because that will mean that we'll be putting up value for very many people here, or rather supporting people who want to create value, because that's our job. Yes,
when you mention codes, people that are actually writing codes or doing stuff that has to do with the IT world on the EOS ecosystem, does that make you one of them? You know, those that are actually on the EOS ecosystem because they love to write codes, you know?
Yeah, actually, the community has been built around that. So our central focus is education, driving education and blockchain.
Can you hear me? Hello, are you there? Okay, guys, I think I've been able to sneak out of the air to get Rosalind and Daniel back. You got to clap for me for what I'm doing right now, because it's so hot, especially in a corner like ours in a hot afternoon where everybody else is using the internet. It makes it so busy, and sometimes some people need to be kicked out, and that's what is happening. But we brought ourselves back in. And then I think as we've been doing, Daniel and Rosalind just they educated us so much about the EOS ecosystem, what is happening in Kenya, so the likes of people that are actually embracing this EOS blockchain and the entire blockchain revolution, and that's so amazing. And we were trying to actually get to know something about Daniel. If he himself happens to be a programmer, of which he gave us a finished answer. So I'll quickly go back to Daniel for him to get it, for it to actually get it done. And then we look at wrapping up this interview, and then see you guys some other time. So Daniel is in your hands now.
Okay. So you had asked about our participation in the development of the EOS protocol, right?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Okay, so here in Nairobi, what we're focusing on is development of the decentralized apps. They're called dApps. Okay. So we're running a training program here where guys get to learn the basics of developing dApps. So everything from the basics of C++, because that's the language that is used to write software that is going to live on EOS. So we have classes that allow developers to learn more about C++, so that they can then move into creating dApps on EOS and learning how to do smart contracts and the likes. So we are all learning. It's new technology. As I was saying earlier, the mainnet hasn't launched yet. So what we are doing right now is we are preparing ourselves for after June. We are block producer candidates here in Nairobi, representing Africa. So we hopefully will be creating blocks right from here in Africa and creating dApps, the decentralized apps from here. So it involves a lot of learning of the C++, understanding smart contracts, and understanding how to do that. And the good thing is that here we are learning how to do all that together as a community.
Wow.
We will also be doing a couple of things, a couple of projects that will support the EOS ecosystem, the global ecosystem. So I talked about a framework that we are building for interacting with front-end interfaces. So we are creating a framework called the Jabali. Jabali will be a framework that will allow developers to quickly build out a front-end interface and a backend that they can use now to plug into the blockchain. So our project will be open source so that we have collaborators coming in from all over the world. We'll be releasing this through our Telegram channel, that's EOS Nairobi. So more information on that will come from there. So we'll have a GitHub account that will have Jabali on there, and people can write code and collaborate with us in building a tool that allows developers to deploy apps really quickly, and beautiful apps with nice interfaces that people don't mind using and actually love the experience while they're working with them.
Wow, that sounds really, really huge. And guys, you heard him. You can follow them on Telegram at EOS Nairobi, and also you follow them on Twitter at EOS Nairobi. So, wrapping up, Rosalind, would you want to tell us actually, how do you see EOS and the entire blockchain ecosystem maybe a year from now in Nairobi, maybe 5 years from now? What are some of the future speculative you see out of what you are building right now?
Okay, so I think I'll give an answer, then I'll also give Rosalind a chance to answer.
Of
Maybe
course.
she can start, then I can wind it up.
All right. So within the next 5 years, let me not go even to 5 years. Let's start with next year. We're seeing more people who will be able to envision use cases for the EOS protocol. So we're seeing a community of guys who will be able to launch their own businesses, their own blockchain startups, and definitely with them, they'll be able to create jobs for other guys. So within the next 5 years, then we'll not be really the ones who are crying about the jobs for them, but we will be the employment creators in the country. And literally, it has to come from us as the solving the problems out.
A quick one. Trying to get there, sometimes you don't need to give, you leave governments out. How are governments reacting to blockchain in Africa? In Nairobi. And how do you think that getting there with them is going to be so much easier for you guys?
So I think here in Kenya, we are very lucky that our government supports blockchain technology. There's even a task force that has been done, set up for the industrial revolution, because that's where we are. Or rather, he was just stating the facts that we have been left out of the other industrial revolutions, and probably that's why we are still lagging behind in terms of economic development. But he wouldn't want us to be left out in this fourth industrial revolution. So we want us, or rather their government, to look at how best they can support people working in the blockchain space, working in the artificial intelligence space, that we can have something to contribute to the world and therefore participate in the fourth industrial revolution. So I think here we are quite lucky. Government supports what we're doing. It's a good thing. So I hope other countries in Africa embrace that.
I just hope for
Uganda is actually good. Yeah, sorry.
I hope for that as well, to see almost all the other governments in African, actually other countries, trying to pay attention to what is happening to this revolution entirely. But I think Kenya is in the lead, and we have to applaud you guys for that.
Kudos to our government.
Right, guys, you just heard everything, and I think we are not done. We would have more of this with the EOS Nairobi team, and we will try as much as we can to be touching base with them, getting to know about how far their development, they are growing, everything is going, so that we will be, keeping a closer eye with growth and everything that has to do with it. We also supporting their innovations all the way from here to Nairobi. And I really appreciate the fact that you guys made the time with us today, with our audience, everybody hearing something from you and also learning new things that this affords us more of such prevailing factors to also learn so much more. Daniel, we are ending it. I don't know if there's anything you would want to say before we...
All right. Okay. That here at Nairobi, we have a lot of people who are supporting the blockchain space. Currently, we are doing a program that is going to build skills among developers so that they can participate in creation of these decentralized apps. So what we're looking at is a global collaboration between the developers we have here in Africa and in the rest of the world. That will bridge that knowledge gap that has existed for quite a while. And what that does, as Rosalind was saying, is that it spurs economic growth, yeah, because people will now be participating in global business, in global ventures, and that's what I see as a really good step, and an opportunity that blockchain is creating. And with that comes a whole lot of other benefits that we may have not thought about, but we will definitely come to see as time goes by.
Wow, that's kind of, I hope all the developers in Africa that are actually going to watch this also pay so much attention to what you are saying so that they collaborate with all of you, not just the EOS ecosystem, but the entire blockchain world in Africa, so that all of us can come together and do so much to change because we matter a lot. Guys, don't forget to actually follow them on Twitter at EOS Nairobi, and also join their Twitter handles, their Telegram channel or group, so that you can get to follow them, you can get to know what they are doing. And I'll request for their official channel so that I share it above the comment section of this interview. Thank you so much for being here with us. We really appreciate your time. And guys, this was the eBitcoinix TV initiative to actually drive blockchain in Africa and the rest of the world. We hope to do so much of this. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and we will give you so much more. Rosalind, Daniel, we really thank you for making time for us today, and we are so sorry for the interruption we caused us. It is because of us that you were even experiencing out of your internet, and we wanted to do this, and we are glad you gave us your time, you gave us the attention, and you actually being here for us at this moment means a lot to us. Thank you so much, guys, for being here. I want to see you some more other time, and we will collaborate. We will see to how best we will be having our next interview. And thank you so much, guys, for being here. See you some other time.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.